Hello everyone, welcome to the course Mastering PHP from Invent High Technologies. In this video, we are going to perform a very important step. We are going to set up the development environment, which is very important for developing websites using PHP. After doing that, we are going to run our first program in PHP. Yes, this used to be the case a decade back. Linux or Mac were considered as essential for web development, and PCs, that is Windows machines, were considered as not suitable for web development. But that is not the case anymore. We are going to introduce you to a set of tools using which you can have a unified way of developing websites in all popular operating systems like Windows, Mac, and also the different flavors of Linux. For this video, we'll be showing the installations on a Windows laptop, but the same can be easily replicated in Mac and Linux laptops. In video 2, we have explained thoroughly on the different components involved in web development. But when developing websites, we need to play the part of both server and client inside the same machine. That is the laptop or desktop. So we need to install both server specific and client specific softwares in the same machine. So first, let us list the softwares and tools which needs to be installed. For replicating the client side, we need to have a browser. This browser should also have good support for developer tools, which will help immensely in testing our websites. Next, we need to have Apache Web Server, which will act as a web server serving our web pages. Next, we need to have PHP itself, which is nothing but PHP interpreter and its software libraries. Next, we need to have MySQL database server, which is the most popular free and open source database server used along with PHP. Finally, we will need one more thing, that is code editor. This is very essential for your journey to become a web developer. We all have installed many softwares in our laptops and will use that experience in installing the required softwares now. In case of browsers, we will recommend you to use Chrome or Firefox web browser. They have excellent developer tool support and that is going to be of great help to us. So you can choose one and install it. Now with browser out of the way, we will need to install Apache Web Server, PHP and MySQL database. This is the place where we want to introduce you to an excellent tool called XAMPP. XAMPP is a free and open source cross-platform web development tool. It reduces the tiresome installation process of installing each of the softwares separately. But more important is that it helps immensely in the actual development process when we develop websites. So let's install XAMPP, which will in turn install the necessary software components. Search for XAMPP in your favorite search engine. XAMPP is from apachefriends.org. So let's click on this link. Here XAMPP is mentioned as Apache plus MariaDB plus PHP plus Perl. But don't worry, we can customize the installation. So we can only install the parts which we require. Here, MariaDB is a very similar database to MySQL DB. So after learning MySQL, you can switch to MariaDB with very little effort if you're really interested. Here in download, we can see XAMPP is available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Since this is a Windows laptop, we are going to click on XAMPP for Windows. Here we can see the version of XAMPP is 8.1.2, which is simply based on the latest version of PHP. Depending upon when you are doing this installation, PHP and in turn XAMPP version will reflect the latest version at that time. Click on this link and please wait for the download to be completed. Once downloaded, please click on it and start the installation. This is simply saying us to install in a folder other than C program files. So let's click OK and this will take us to the installation wizard. Here let's click on next. Here we can see the list of softwares which are about to be installed. We are free to choose which softwares we need. Mail server will be required to send emails from the websites we are going to develop. So let's have it here. FileZilla FTP server, Tomcat, and Perl we can remove. The rest we will allow for installation. Let's click on next. So this is the default folder where exam will be installed. So if you want, we can change this folder. We are choosing this folder for installation. Click on next, next, and let's uncheck this box. Next, and now it's going to start the installation. Let's click on next. So this installation is going to take a few minutes. Once you click finish, we can see the exam control panel. This is the exam control panel, and it means we have finished installing exam and included softwares. So now we have installed exam and with it Apache Web Server, PHP and MySQL database. Next is the code editor. Beginners might think why we need to install and use code editor. Can't we use notepad like text editors? Initially, learning to use a code editor can be slowing the overall coding process. But once you start using it regularly and learn various shortcuts, then it will help to write code more quickly, smoothly, and more efficiently. By the color syntax highlighting feature, one can easily write and also read source code efficiently. By auto completion and error highlighting features, one can catch many syntax errors on the flow and save your valuable time. There are many different code editors out there, but some of the heavily used code editors by web developers are VS Code and Sublime Text. VS Code is completely open source and free. While Sublime Text is not free, it has a lenient evaluation period which allows one to use and get familiar with it. Like every carpenter has a favorite hammer, every artist has a favorite brush, every developer will have a favorite code editor. So you find one and stick with it. If you are a beginner, our recommendation is to start with VS Code as it is lightweight, easy to learn and use, and also it is cross platform. So choose your editor and install it. So now we have installed all the softwares required for the web development process. Let's see how to use XAMPP in the development process. Exam control panel is a place where we can control and monitor the web development process. We can start and stop the Apache web server, MySQL database server, and do many things. Let's start Apache and MySQL servers. If you click on admin on Apache, we can get Apache dashboard. This is nothing but a pre-configured website served by Apache web server. We can confirm Apache is working as expected as we are able to see this dashboard. First time you click on this link, you might be redirected to some ad pages, but after that, this will start working. Let's click on PHP info. PHP info is a web page which gives complete information about PHP installed and also about Apache, which is serving that web page. So here we can see the version of the PHP installed is 8.1.2, and this is the location of the php.ini file. And we can see that this PHP is served by the Zend engine. And we can see the different environment settings for the Apache. Let's click on PHP My Admin now. PHP My Admin is a web application written in PHP to handle the administration of MySQL over a GUI. So instead of doing MySQL administration through CLI, we can use this web page and easily configure the MySQL database. We will see this in a detailed manner in further videos. Once after completing the development session, we can stop the Apache and MySQL services. Okay, now is the time to run your first PHP program. There is a tradition followed in programming world over many centuries where the first program one will learn and execute in any new language is to print hello world. So let's follow the tradition and learn how to print hello world in PHP. So let's open exam and start Apache and MySQL services. Now we can click on the Explorer, which will take us to the exam installation directory. So under this directory, you can see a folder called htdocs. So let's go inside that. So here, the dashboard is the one which was a pre-installed Apache dashboard website. So we can create a folder under this where we can create all our websites. I'm creating a folder called PHP. So the PHP files will be inside this folder. So here we can see the Visual Studio Code, and we are going to use this Visual Studio Code for developing the PHP program. So here I'm choosing the htdocs and PHP and selecting that folder. So under PHP, I'm going to create a file called index.php. So now we are going to write the hello world program in PHP. As you can see, I have easily created the HTML boilerplate using Visual Studio Code. So this is one of the advantage of using the code editor. I'm going to make it very simple, and I'm going to have only the title in the header section. So let's name this as hello world. So under body, we are going to display hello world again. So I have saved the file. So now let's go to the web browser. Under the web browser, I'm going to type localhost/php. This is a folder under which we are having the index.php file. So here you can see the title has come here, hello world, and also we can see the output of a hello world program. Some of you might be wondering, this is a HTML file. So where is PHP in this? Yes, so we will write some PHP code in this HTML. So this hello world, we can specify that this is coming from the HTML tag. So here I'm going to insert the PHP code. So this is the start of the PHP code, and this is where the PHP code ends. And echo statement, using echo statement in PHP, we are going to print the string, which is nothing but a HTML string. So let's see how this is seen in the browser. I'm going to refresh the page. So now we can see there is a hello world directly from the HTML tags, and there is a hello world printed from our PHP program. So this is our first PHP program. So by seeing this output, we can confirm that we have run our first PHP program, which is a hello world successfully. Yeah, we know how excited you are to see our hello world program executing successfully and displaying output in the web browser. Let's continue with the same excitement in our PHP journey. Thank you for watching this video, and we will deep dive into PHP and accelerate our learning process in the coming videos. Thank you, and bye till our next video.